from the pudding, and the pudding in this case is a football. Boom! Eat my goal! The goalie has got football pie all over his shirt.
Welcome to this episode of the Down the Pub podcast. On this episode, I am joined by one of our new wanderers, Callum Watson. Welcome to the show, Callum.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Good. Really appreciate you doing this. I know a lot of you're already kind of a fan favorite from some of your social media stuff, so I thought it'd be a good idea to get you on the show so people get to know the real you, not just a social media guy. So, just a couple of questions just to kind of get us in the swing of things. What's your favorite Canadian food?
Oh, I mean, I'll probably just have to go with a basic poutine. I mean, we have something kind of similar back home, but we just call it chips and gravy. So it's a little bit similar, but ours is a basic format of it. But I've tried that a couple times. It's not too
just
bad.
think about it when you retire. You can corner the cheese curds market in England and just fucking make a ton of money, you know. So
yeah, might have to take that route. we'll see how that goes.
The English food you miss the most?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we haven't really got anything too crazy. Obviously, we've got fish and chips, but I mean, I think I'd say a Sunday roast dinner, or I mean, a full English breakfast as well on a Sunday morning doesn't go amiss as well, especially if my mum's whipping that up. So yeah, probably have to go with a full English breakfast.
I think I'm the same. I kind of miss my mom's like Sunday dinners and stuff like that, and just I think it's more just like you don't have to cook for yourself; somebody else is doing it for you. So like, I think that's the main thing.
Yeah, that's definitely a factor for sure. I mean, my mum doesn't whip up a bad one, but I mean, I don't think anything beats my nan's cooking. To be honest, nan's cooking on a Sunday afternoon.
Nice.
That's what hits the real spot.
Then just veg out on the couch afterwards. Exactly. Who's your football hero growing up?
Oh, that's a tough question. I mean, being an Arsenal fan in that relation, I'd probably look at Santi Cazorla probably being the main guy I looked at. Probably growing up. But I mean, more recently, I mean, I know he's an ex-Spurs player, unfortunately, but Luka Modric, he's just different class, man. Everything he does is just so good. Technical ability, and the engine he's still got. I think he's 36 or 37 now. How he's still going at the rate he is. It's just a joy to watch, to be honest.
He did become a much better player when he left Tottenham. Most players do. So,
well, like most players, yeah, it's not hard to improve after leaving there, is it?
So, speaking of Arsenal, they obviously beat Chelsea tonight. Who knows what's happened to Chelsea? But so I guess I got to ask you: will they win the league? Are you a firm believer?
No. I mean, to put it bluntly, no. I think we kind of messed that one up the last 2 weeks with the result against West Ham, and then losing that 2-0 lead at Liverpool, and then obviously the absolute colossal that went down with Southampton at home. I mean, I think we've kind of done ourselves in there, but I mean, obviously City showed their class the other day when they taught us a good lesson on how Arsenal were actually trying to play. So, I mean, it's been a good season though for an Arsenal fan, but yeah, I can't see us lifting it, unfortunately, at the end of the season.
I think you definitely needed that Chelsea win though, just kind of get over the last couple of games, and Jesus Christ, like I was looking at Frank Lampard's record in the Premier League. I think like he's won 2 games out of like the last 23 or something like that. So it's bizarre why they picked him.
The poor guy's ruining his playing career, and he should have just stuck to watching the game really after retiring. But you know, kudos to him, he's still going, bless his heart. I mean,
all he had to do was just walk up the stairs to Jamie Carragher and Gary Neville, and when he took the hard option. So
exactly. I mean, Neville tried it. Neville tried it at Valencia, and then realised he dropped out at a good time.
Paul Scholes is the same, man. He had to go at Oldham, and I don't think it's as easy as they think it is. So just kind of getting into obviously your own career. So the rumors were, and I think I read somewhere in probably like the Sudbury Times or somewhere that you're from, like the Essex Times or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you had the option to train with some MLS teams this off season. So why did you decide to kind of forego that and sign a permanent contract with the Wanderers?
Yeah, so like you said, I had a couple options to go into a couple sides like Houston and Real Salt Lake. Had phone calls with them and conversations, but I mean, a big part of it was what Patrice laid out in front of me, and those options to go on trial at those clubs. There was an opportunity to train with the first teams. Don't get me wrong, but I think I would have been looking more at an MLS Next contract if everything went well when I went in there. But for me, I wanted to obviously I'm 23 now, so I wanted to go into a men's environment, and obviously that the CPL offers that along with a good quality league as well. So I think if I went down the route of MLS Next, it would have been for me not necessarily taking a step back, but kind of staying at a similar level as college, kind of, because you get obviously guys that come out of college, and obviously you get the guys in the MLS academies that can be as young as 16 even playing in that league. So I think I'm always someone that's wanted to push myself, and I think this was the best step for me. And obviously, like I said, the plan that Patrice laid out in front of me with Geordie, it was something that really took to my eye, and is something that I was really excited to join in and work under these guys.
So I know you came here like a little bit early before preseason with your dad. You were at one of the live show that we did with Patrice. So what was your initial thoughts in the city, and did you think, like, did it make you realize you made a good decision?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I didn't get to see loads of the city, and there's still a lot of the city which I need to see. But everyone that I've met has been so lovely, so welcoming, and funny enough, like you say, my dad come with me, and then this weekend just gone, my family visited for the first home game, and I mean, up to now, I've not got a bad word to say about the city, about the people, and the welcoming I've had has been really nice.
You know, like that kind of first professional, I guess, preseason. So how did that go for you, and how did you find the professional preseason compared to what you were used to in college and Sudbury and stuff?
Yeah, so especially under Patrice, he's a very intense guy, which was as I'm sure you guys know. But for me, on an individual basis, the first 2 weeks before our trip to Florida, it was a bit of an eye opener. I mean, on a personal basis, I wasn't performing as I preferably would have liked, but I think a lot of that comes down to, I was like say, a new setup, new coaches, a new style of play, a lot of new players, a new home. But it took me a couple of weeks to settle in. But I think when we went to Florida, that's when everything kind of really seemed to settle in. I got used to the way we wanted to play, the way Patrice wants us to play, my role in the side. So yeah, that's kind of where everything started to almost click for me in a way. And then obviously going into the season, I've been able to appear in every game, got one start so far. So yeah, I'm really just looking to build and grow. And on an individual basis, I can only see myself improving from what I've done up to this point.
So the first kind of 4 games were away from home. 4 games, 3 games, 3 games away from home.
Yeah,
so
first 3, yeah.
So how was that? Like, do you think that really helped you as a team to kind of bond, that you were kind of stuck into that weird environment where you had so many away games in a short space of time?
Yeah, I think like you say, we've had, I couldn't tell you the exact number of the amount of new players, a lot of first year pros, a lot of guys that are joining that are new. And I think that trip to Florida that we had really, really helped us as a group to grow and connect and really get to know each other, not even just as players, but as people as well. A lot of people from different areas, different cultures and things like that. And like you say, yeah, being on the road for the first 3 games against the 2 sides that have really dominated the league in especially last season, especially coming out of it disappointed, considering we hadn't got a win out of those games, really shows I think what we can do as a group this upcoming season.
So as you said, like you kind of you've been involved in like every game pretty much so far. How are you adapting to, they call it Patrice ball, the way he kind of wants to play the game? Like there's a lot of kind of movement, and he wants different.
Mhm.
It's not traditional player spots where he wants you, positions that he wants you to play in. So how are you adapting to the difference?
I mean, as a player, it's quite nice to not necessarily have a freedom, but like there's a lot of flexibility. So I think as a football player and as the group that we have, everyone loves to play football. We like to move the ball, keep the ball moving, try and drag the opponent out of position. I think all that we've been missing really is that second goal, third goal to really put teams to bed. We can almost do it in the first half with the opportunities we had. It's just that final ball that and being cutthroat and being ruthless in the final third to do that. And I think that will come for sure. And it's something that we'll be working on. And I think once that final part clicks, I think we'll definitely be a force to be reckoned with, and we'll be up there at the end of the season.
Yeah, you can definitely see like the building blocks are there, and we're kind of, everybody seems to be adapting to it. But do you think it's a kind of a,
Mm-hmm.
obviously last season we struggled in front of goal. Do you think it's a mental block thing, or do you just think that it's like it'll come eventually, and that's the kind of feeling with you guys, like
Um,
the goals?
yeah, I don't think it's a mental block. I think the thing that we've got to remember as well, as a group, we've only been together 8 weeks, so we're still trying to figure each other out and certain ways that players like to play and how to play with each other to a certain extent. 8 weeks for 17 new lads to be put together. I mean, it's a tough stint, but it's something that I believe and we believe as a group from the top to us players. Um, that it will definitely come for sure, and hopefully we'll be able to bring lots of goals for you guys to celebrate at the ground.
Being honest with you, it was just like compared to like last year, just being able to watch the football. The football is like way more exciting, and
Yeah,
we were kind of under the cosh a little bit, and then you kind of came on and you brought in like a little bit of a different kind of energy and all that kind of stuff. So I think the fans are definitely behind you all, and they kind of want just to get there. So it's just nice to see that we're trying to do something different, and we have like so many more technically gifted players. Like you playing alongside, like obviously Lorenzo's being singled out by every media thing,
yeah.
and but like playing alongside guys like that, like are you picking up little things and training from guys like that in games?
Yeah, of course. Like I said, we're starting to realise the type of things that players look for on the ball. Obviously, Lorenzo's got an incredible amount of experience coming from the background that he has. Rampy's been in the league for the whole 5 years it's been here. Um, so yeah, I mean, ultimately it will come together. And like you said, we're playing a style of football that I don't think the CPL's seen in the 5 years. Obviously, Forge like to play a good style of football. I think us and them are the two sides that really look to, I believe, play football the right way. But like you say, when we're playing that way, at the end of the day, we've got to get results because that's really what matters at the end. The one stat that matters is the scoreline. So we can play pretty football, but like I said, at the end of the day, we've got to be ruthless, and that's what we're working on.
So the weekend was your first home game here in Halifax. Obviously,
Hmm.
the club kind of uses the home game experience as a way to sell the club to players coming in. So the pre-game atmosphere live up to the hype?
Yeah, nice. It's fantastic. I mean, my first professional experience coming out to 6,500 people with flares and songs and banners and everything. I mean, it's it is a fantastic environment to be in, and coming on. I mean, obviously us as players are just saying, imagine if we could have got that last goal just to see the place erupt and really show us like what this town is all about as a community, not just the club itself.
How did your family find the experience of the home game?
I mean, if my dad remembers it, I'm pretty sure he'd say it was great. I think he had a few too many, to be honest with you. But he was a little bit merry, I tell you. But no, my family really enjoyed it almost as much as I did, I'm sure. But yeah, so they'll be back out for sure. I know my cousin and my sister who are here have already been looking at flights to come back out in the next few weeks. So they enjoyed it that much. But
Nice.
but yeah, no, the whole experience was just fantastic, and yeah, hopefully we'll be able to give you guys 3 points most weeks, if not every week, to be able to celebrate and go home with a happy face.
Was it nice to be back on a grass pitch?
Oh yeah, you can't beat a grass pitch.
They do a
Can't beat
great
a
job
grass
with it,
pitch.
don't
I
they?
reckon is anything.
I mean, like
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
trying to survive a Canadian winter and being able to have a pitch like that it's something
Yeah,
else. Like I mean, the ground staff are incredible.
yeah. No, honestly, for yeah, like I said, kudos to the guys that work on the grounds. Honestly, like you say, hard graft after a tough winter, and then to be able to get the pitch looking like that. I mean, not even in its prime time. So, I mean, full respect to the guys like Jeff and those guys that work at the grounds day in day out to get it looking like to host CPL games on a beautiful grass pitch, and obviously the stands and everything. So yeah, this it's great to be able to play on a facility like that.
So you won't get to see it again until May 20th. So how are you feeling about another road trip coming up?
Yeah, I mean it's a part of it. It's like you say, it's a time where us as players can come together and really like continue to get to know each other. But yeah, I mean everyone's got to do it. Every team's got to make that travel. So yeah, hopefully we go away, get a good result away, and then we can come back and get another 3 points at home. And then yeah, so then we'll build from there.
So just speaking of like bonding and stuff like that, like you and Fumpa seem to have built a bit of a double act. So how cool is it having somebody from back at home
Yeah,
to kind of bounce off?
yeah, yeah. The boy Thumper. I mean, yeah, obviously Dan's English as well. Well, lived in Canada for a year, but yeah, it's nice to have a little bit of like it's almost like a little bit of home here because we have the same kind of background, same kind of banter. So yeah, it's always nice to have someone who's from home with you. But yeah, we're always up to our old tricks, me and Thumper. Uh, Sometimes we might take it a bit too far with some of the guys, but it's a part of it. We've got to find our boundaries. So, but no, yeah, no, Thumper's a great guy. So yeah, it's nice to have him here.
How are you supposed to know what your boundaries are unless you try and push them, right? So
Exactly. I mean, until someone comes in severely upset or just goes, "Hey, that's a bit too far," and then I'll carry on going. I'll keep pushing the boundaries.
I also did want to congratulate the two of you on getting the word bollocks onto one soccer. That was mint. That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I know. It was literally, he sent it to me and he was like, have they realised that? And I was like, I don't think they really know what it means. He was like, but I mean, if they didn't want to cut it out, they didn't want to cut it out. That's not our fault. But yeah,
So you can just imagine that there's like all of these people in what the one soccer offices like just saying bollocks as if it's like just a regular word, you know?
yeah, I know. But we was like, he sent it to me and I was like, kind of in shock because I was like, surely they would have searched the word up if they don't know what it means. And then he was like, obviously not. I was like, oh, clearly, but hey, it's out there on YouTube now. You can't take it. Well, you can take it away, but it's out there for good now.
I took a screen. I took a screenshot of it, so I have it forever. So don't worry. I find the next thing that pisses me off, I'm just gonna put up there.
Oh,
It's a load of
brilliant.
bollocks. So just kind
God.
of getting a little bit into your background. You started out at Colchester, I believe, and then that's that same story I read
Yeah.
about you from back home said that you were released because you were too small, which is
Yep.
arseholes anyway. But you went to Sudbury
Bollocks.
then. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you went to like Sudbury, but Sudbury seemed to have this connection in the States. What is that you were able to get you the scholarship?
So basically, so Sudbury had almost like an academy set up where it was 2 years of academy football. It's like yeah, it was basically academy football. And then I was able to break into the first team there as well at 16. But I was able to do my studying there as well because back home we have to stay in full-time education till we're 18. But we went on a tour to America, to New York, and kind of got introduced to a couple of universities over there. And then I almost kind of had an idea, even when I hit 16, 17, I was like, if I'm not able to get back into an academy setup and get a scholarship between the ages of 16 and 18, when I hit 18, I'd almost look to see where I can play. And then there's an agency back home who I used, which allowed me to get out to the States. So I had a highlight video that got circulated around colleges in the US, and then they show interest, and then I basically just figure out what's best fit for me. So I was able to get a full scholarship at my first school, headed out there for the first year and a half, and then that's what enabled me to transfer over to Creighton, where I spent the rest of my time there.
Like that's a big school, Creighton. So I mean, it's crazy. Like, so do they just like do they poach you? Is that the way it works? Like, do they like tap you up kind of thing? Is that the way that works? Like, because
yeah. So my coach, my coach at my first school, he was a student at Creighton. Funny enough. So then he got in contact with the head coach at Creighton and was like, "Hey, I've got a lad here, who's looking to transfer." And then he come down, watched a few games, and then was like, "Okay, yeah, would be really happy to have him." Then you almost go through the same process again. Obviously, Creighton's a bigger school than Hastings, which is my first school. Was able to play at the Division One level, and then spent 3 years there, completing my degree. So I was able to come out of there with that, and then was able to have a successful time at Creighton, especially in my last year. We won our conference tournament and made it to the College Cup, the Final Four. And then, yeah, somehow Patrice managed to watch a few games, seemed to like what he saw, and then got in touch with the agent I have now, and then yeah, all kind of just it went pretty smoothly, to be honest, the whole process of getting me here. So obviously I thank my agent for that, Patrice, and Creighton for giving me the opportunity to be able to express myself there and get myself out there into the public eye to enable me to take this next step.
What like I always imagine I've talked to some people who've gone to like the Penn State and stuff like that. Like, what are the facilities like at Creighton? Are they as immaculate and as crazy as what I'd imagine?
Oh, top drawer! Like, it's honestly better than any professional setup I've seen. Like the stadium itself holds 7,500. The gym facilities are second to none. People are lovely there as well. Like my time at Creighton, I honestly couldn't say a bad word about it. So the people there are lovely. Coaches are all fantastic. Johnny Torres was the head coach there the 3 years I was there. Great guy. Still speak to him on a regular basis as well. The same as the assistant coaches, Michael Gabb, Ian Serican. I mean, big shout out for those guys, and especially the strength and conditioning coach as well, who helped me get back. So I had surgery, so he helped me get back through an 8-month process. So they're just really, it's a really caring place, great facilities. So yeah, not a bad word to say about the place, to be honest.
No wonder like the MLS is on the way up. That these are the facilities that like kids are getting at the college level.
Yeah.
Like you're almost in a professional setup before you hit the professional circuit.
Exactly, it's a professional environment with some studying on the side. That's honestly the plainest black and white way I can put it. So yeah.
So what was your degree that you did?
It was come under health and lifestyle management. So nothing too strenuous. Kept it basic, focused on the football, got in, got out, got my degree.
I love it.
Can't take my degree away from me now. I've got it.
So what was your impression when, like, as you said, like, you're going from like top class facilities at Creighton where the stadium is built and you've got like all the gym facilities to seeing the shipping containers at the Wanderers grounds.
Hey, it's like home. That's the home. That's a part of it. That's what makes it the experience it is. I mean, I think the containers are quite a good idea, to be honest, considering where we're located. I look at it as clever. That's what I
think
look at it as.
It's really cool. Like when you're actually in the kind of the corporate box, it's kind of funny that you're like, I'm lit. Like when I was a kid, a lot of the changing rooms would be shipping containers. That's how like it was like most clubs like didn't have a clubhouse or anything like that. So it's kind of funny like that. It's kind of gone full circle where like I'm a fan now sitting in a shipping container having some beers watching the game. So yeah, I love it too. But
well,
you know, hopefully we get
playing non-league back home. Like playing non-league back home is almost like a full circle. Like you say, you get some absolute sights at non-league back home. But
the man on the dog.
The inside of the containers is lovely. The inside of the containers has been wonderfully furnished. It's wonderful in there. Only it might could do with some heaters in there. That's the one thing I might say.
So you're actually that's your accommodation where they have you staying is inside a shipping container, right? They couldn't afford apartments this year, so they've got you all staying in the shipping containers.
You was meant to keep that a secret.
Shit, sorry, man. Sorry.
I'm joking. I'm doing it. No, I'm joking. No, we get put up in a wonderfully furnished place. I promise. We're treated very well here. I promise.
So, like you know, you made that kind of jump as you said. Hastings was the first college you went to, and then you went to Creighton. So, you know, what's we had a player or two, I think, from like last year who played in the NAIA, I think it's called. What's the big differences? What's the big differences between those for the uninitiated?
It's mainly the size of the school is one. Hastings we only had 1,500 students throughout the whole thing, and 200 of them were meathead American footballers. So there's that. Funding, obviously, the bigger schools have more money, so they're able to give out more scholarships, recruit better. But NAIA, you get quite a lot of older players. NAIA, there's like 24, 25-year-olds still that play at that level. And I'd probably say there's more internationals NAIA, to be honest, rather than Americans. I don't know if that's something to do with obviously them trying to promote American soccer, trying to promote players from that level to the MLS, obviously. But yeah, they're really the 2-3 main things that I'd say are the difference, and obviously facilities as well. So obviously the bigger schools have bigger money, which enables the facilities to be as good as what they are.
It definitely feels like a stepping stone for international lads like yourself, because it seems to be a couple of players I know who went on to those bigger colleges have always started out at the kind of lower level, and I guess it's good exposure for them too. Like, I mean, if you take off, you know, Hastings, the college I'd never heard of it before, and now like we know it because of you. So
because Hastings is a very like established NAIA program, 2 national championships. My second year I was there, we made it to the national final as well. So it's the top sides at NAIA could compete very good Division 1 level, 100%. Like I have full confidence in saying that. But then obviously there's sides that obviously aren't as good because those smaller schools don't have the money. They're just lucky to almost fill the side and allow guys to go and get a degree while still playing soccer and enjoying their soccer.
So I did notice on your Twitter there that you won an award. What was it? The Comeback Kid Award for Creighton. So I just loved the little thing where you're just like, I didn't even know I was nominated. It was kind of funny. So but you did mention that you had a bit of surgery and stuff like that. So what was the injury that you had, and how honored were you to get that award?
Yeah, so like as silly as it sounds, it's like the Comeback Kid Award. Like I was out for a good 8 months because in 2020 I found out I tore my labrum in my right hip. I was still able to play on it, but I played a whole nother year on my hip with it being torn because if I had surgery at the time I found out, I would have missed the regular season. So I decided to play on it and then get surgery in the spring. Well, actually, it was in the December 2020, 2021. I can't remember exactly what one, but yeah, so I got the surgery in the December and then recovered December till, yeah, it was almost July is when I fully got back, July, August. So, yeah, basically, long story short, I had to reshape the labrum in my right hip and remove a piece of excess bone. So like the ball and socket joint basically fitted in rather than crashing up against each other. So
Fucking hell.
yeah, it was a long road back. Yeah, it was a tough recovery back, but like I say, the facilities that we've got and the staff that I had at Creighton with the physical trainer that we had in there every day and my strength and conditioning coach. I mean, those guys really pushed me to get back. So everything I get now, like with that award that I was given, as soon as I received that, I literally text my strength and conditioning coach and the PT straight away. I was like, because they was going to ship the trophy here, but I just said to him, I was like, keep it. I was like, you got me back. I was like, you have the award.
Nice.
I was like, you keep that. I was like, you got me back. I was like, through the amount of times he made me throw up through fitness, I was like, yeah. There was plenty of times where I was like, no, I was like, this is a long road back, but those guys really helped me get through that. And then ultimately, without them, I probably wouldn't be sitting here now claimed as a professional soccer player. So
Wow, that's
yeah,
crazy.
it was a long road back, tough surgery, but here I am. I'm back. I'm
So
good. I'm healthy.
did you get to keep the piece of bone? Did they give it to you like in a jar or something, like when you get your teeth taken out? Here you go, bud.
No, not quite. No, not quite. Not quite. I don't know if I'd want that, to be honest. That piece of bone caused me a lot of pain at times, I tell you. I wanted to stay as far away from that as possible.
So like when you were playing on it, like was it like when you're turning and stuff like that, was it affecting you, or did you like?
Yeah. When I was playing, I only felt it a few times. Like there'd be times where it like I feel like a crunch, and then I'd have to stand still for a couple seconds until the pain went.
Fucking
Then I'd
hell.
start running. But it was more like after training or after playing. If I'd sit down, then I'd stand up, and I'd have to stand up and just like I'd try and walk, but it just lock. Like I wouldn't be able to walk for like 5-10 seconds, then I'd be fine again. It was honestly, I felt like my granddad, and my granddad's 9-year-old, so he was probably better. He had better mobility than me at some point. So,
Wow,
but yeah,
that's crazy. I'm glad that it all kind of worked out for you. So one of our listeners did have a quick question for you. So what's your preferred position? 6, 8, or 10?
I'd claim myself as an 8. I like to get up and down, as like some of you guys, some of you fans have seen already. Like I've got a good engine. I'm quite an energetic player, but I've played all three. At Creighton, my second year, or my third year, sorry, my last year, I was definitely more of an 8. But the 2 previous years before that, and then my 2 years at Sudbury, I played as an out and out 10. So either one of those, I'm not fussy. I wouldn't say I'm a natural 10 as such. I'm someone who might drop a bit deeper to come and play, but yeah, if I'm on the pitch, I'm on the pitch. I'm not fussed about where I'm playing, but I'd say personally, I'm more of an 8. But in this system, Patrice seems to see me as a 10. So trying to learn and adapt to certain things that he wants in there will only help me get better and add to my game, really. So yeah.
That's awesome. So the final question, and you're gonna play in a 5-a-side team from the players you've played with. Who makes the team?
Of the teams that I've played, the players I've played with all time.
Yep.
Goal. I'd probably go with my goalkeeper at Creighton, Paul Cruz. He was a great keeper. Can I choose my formation, or have you got a formation set for me?
You can do what you want. You're the coach, or you can put yourself in the team if you want to.
Okay. I can put myself in. Oof, that changes the whole lot. Okay, yeah, I'll play a diamond. The base of the diamond. I'm not going to go with any defenders.
Nice.
I'm an attacking player. To be honest, I'd probably put Lorenzo at the bottom of it. Only been with him 8 weeks, but fuck me, what a player. Sorry, language. I don't know if I can swear, but
I've sworn a few times. Don't worry, buddy.
all right, yeah, all right. So I'll go Lorenzo at the bottom of it. I'll go straight to my 9. I would go Duncan Maguire, my forward at Creighton, but I'm gonna have to go with a guy that I played with at Hastings. His name's Danny Whitehall. He plays at Eastleigh now, back home. I'll go with him. He's just goal scorer. In his 4 years at college, he scored like 93 goals, I think.
Holy Jesus!
In 4 years, yeah, and he's still smashing goals in for fun now at Eastleigh. And he had some set piece on him. His free kicks were a joke. He scored all types of goals. So I'd have him as my 9. And then, other midfielders I've played with. Oh, that's tough. I'll put myself in there. I'll back myself.
Love that confidence.
Five-a-side, I mean, it's nice and small. I can run around and kick people, which is quite nice sometimes. As I'm sure you've seen, I don't mind the tackle. And then, next to me, who am I going to put next to me? Can I put someone who I played against?
No, it has to be who you played with.
All right.
There's rules, man. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just trying to think. I'll stick with my Creighton boys because he was good in five-a-side. Charles Goose. He's now at Dynamo. Five-a-sides, he was a nightmare to play against. He just built like a brick shit house. Powerful lad. Yeah,
nice.
And he's like my best mate. He's one of my best mates as well. So yeah, we'll have that best mate chemistry in there as well.
So do you want to just recap it for me?
So Paul Cruz in goal, played with him at Creighton. Lorenzo from here. Myself, Charles Auguste, who I played with at Creighton, and Danny Whitehall, who I played with at Hastings.
Love it, man. That's awesome. So it's been great to get to know you a little bit better, Callum. The great thing about the CPL is that it's not just about giving Canadian players a chance when they probably wouldn't have another chance. It's like people like yourself.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen Fumpa come over. We've seen other people who have probably might have dropped out of the game. So it's great that you're here. People really like that you come on the pitch and you give it your all. So I really appreciate it. Enjoy the road trip, and we'll see you on May 20th.
Yeah. No, thank you. Appreciate it. I'm looking forward to seeing you all back at the grounds.
Cheers, buddy. See you then. Take care.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks,
you.
man.
Appreciate it.
Folks, please. Right foot, please. Time to drink up, folks. Get out. Out to box.